What is up, sixth man here with House of O3 after a long 2 week stint away. Um, First off, I'd just like to apologise. We got swept away with It's Coming Home. There was a lot of
Yeah.
sport going on. It didn't come home, and now we're back in the NBA. I feel like we've used and abused them, but we're here anyway. We're here anyway. So since we
Mhm.
last spoke to the people, George, uh, Chris Paul made the finals, the Suns, which
Yeah.
is Jay Wild's team, and also the Bucks made their finals. They beat the Hawks in six, which means Ed's Bucks choice. So it will be Wildy v Ed in the finals, which is currently happening, going on right now. We're going to
Mm.
speak about the Bucks Suns finals, which has been a bit of a topsy turvy series so far.
Yeah.
In the three games, the Suns are 2-1 up at the moment. The Suns won their first two games at home pretty comfortably, and the Bucks
Mm.
obviously responded with a game 3 win, and that's what we're going to speak about. So the notes that I have from the Bucks, obviously won by 20. They finished the half on a 30-9 run. In the third quarter, they had a 16 to 0 run to really break the game open, and they pretty much coasted home from there. From what from what I saw from the game was the extra passes and a lot of the 50-50 balls. There was a lot of hustle from the Bucks supporting cast. And you look at
Yeah.
players that need to turn up, like Chris Middleton, he had 18, 7, and 6. Drew, he had 21, 5, and 9. They were combined 8 of 17 from three, which is great. And you had Bobby Portis, Big BP, with the big eyes, 11 and 8 off the bench. Yeah, is there what did you take from the game, George? In terms of game 3, do you think the series has flipped now? A lot of people are saying that the momentum is with the Bucks.
Based on like previous games, like where the Bucks came from a down situation, I would have to say I agree with that. In terms of, I would say now we've got ourselves a game, Alex. Because beforehand you could see it seems like Giannis has woken up and he's spurred on that fire within the Bucks as well. The way they were playing, Giannis is trying to will in every bucket. We saw that in the last game as well, where I believe he just went straight through Craig, which kind of puts behind that headline of when you see Giannis coming out at you, most players get out of the way. Um, so with that, I feel like it's going to be a lot more competitive, a lot more fight from both ends, and we'll see where it goes from there, man.
Yeah, I think the worrying sign for the Suns is when Aiton's not in the game. And in game 3, he
Definitely.
was in foul trouble. And Giannis shot 75% from the field against all other defenders who are not named DeAndre Ayton. And the
Mm.
fact that their backup bigs are Torrey Craig, like you
Yeah.
said yourself, Giannis is basically our generation Shaq in another sense. He's obviously not as big, but man, is he mobile. And when he's going
Yeah.
towards the rim, there's not really a lot you can do. And on the other side, we'll look at Phoenix. Booker, 10 points, 3 of 14 from the field in the game 3 loss. What did you see from the Suns in this game about them adjusting to the Bucks' reply?
Well, in the response, I feel like the Suns kind of tried to stay true to their play style in that aspect. They tried to, I don't think they panicked or rushed a bit, but you saw as the game progressed and it got towards like those final third and final fourth quarters, I feel like they started to sleep a lot more, especially on the defensive end. There wasn't that as much of that support there, or there was too much, and that led to mistakes, and it aided in that 3-pointer run which you saw in the third quarter, where Holiday made a three and Canalton made a three as well. In that aspect, where the Bucks were, you could see there they didn't want to give the Suns a chance at that point. They wanted to run away with it and close that game out. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last thing as well, and I don't think this trend is going to continue, but the Suns, 14 turnovers. For a Chris Paul-led team, I don't suspect that's going to continue on. They normally do a great job of taking care of the ball. 11 to 16 from the free throw line. The Bucks made 23 throws in itself. In
Mm.
fact, Giannis had 13 free throws, and the whole of the Suns only scored 11. So I understand it's in Milwaukee. I understand there's a lot of pressure on the refs to call stuff for the home team. I personally still think the Suns are favourite for the series. They've got the home court advantage. I do suspect we're going to see a close game though soon, because a lot of the games haven't been competitive. There's going to be one which sort of turns or clinches the series, really, I think.
Yeah. So what would your predictions be then in terms of like who's coming out on top?
I think there's no way Booker has that bad of a game again. Drew's a great defender, but I think he's going to find a way to have offense or potentially distribute more than 2 assists. I think I think it could go the distance. I expect Suns in either 6 or 7. What do you think?
Again, with that, especially with this new flame into the game, I would say Suns in 7. But again, like you said, it's a toss-up. Like, we'll see what happens, because if Ayton goes out in foul trouble or anything like that, then that's a big swing in the Bucks' favour, and we'll see if they're capitalised. But again, with Giannis, and we know with his leg injury, we're not sure if that's going to be re-aggravated. He looks perfectly comfortable and perfectly fine with it as it stands. But again, if it gets too much for him, it could swing in the Suns' favour. But for now, I'm going Suns 7.
Give me a Finals MVP.
Finals MVP. I would go for Chris Paul. I'm sticking in the Suns end. Giannis has been going crazy with those 2 40-point games going off. But yeah, I would go Paul, man. What about yourself?
I think I'll give it to Chris Paul because the longevity. But on the Bucks, you obviously, if the Bucks win, you know he's going to win Finals MVP. On the Suns, it could literally be between 3 players, which is really cool. I like that. Let's just hope for a competitive series.
Yeah, shows that team play.
Yeah, and that's what we like to see.